Yo, I don't know why it's so difficult for me to film and post the second half of this story, but like, oh my god. Okay, third time's the charm, right? So, okay, Aquarius comes through, like I said, and I avert my eyes like a hoe, playing with my feet in the water. All of a sudden, somebody tap on my shoulder. I look over, and it's Aquarius with these leopard shorts. And he starts trying to make conversation. I'm dry as fuck. He wants to hang out. He wants to, like, you know, do some recreational activities, you feel me? And I'm like, I only have a little bit. He's like, that's okay. Text me. I said, okay. I was supposed to hang out with Libra that night though, because that whole week he was flaking hard than a hoe, and I had lost my job, and he was like, oh, like, you know, he said that he would like lend me money to help me with my rent. It was like only a little bit, and I was like, dope. So I hit him up. I hit Libra up. I was like, I'm coming over. He's like, I'm leaving. I was like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, I'm gonna go eat with my friends and shit like that. I was like, fuck it. So I popped up at his apartment. No. He told me that when I got there. He's like, I'm finna go, and I was like, I'm coming, right? So I hung up on him and just drove out there, and I got there, called him, didn't see his car either, and he's like, I already left. He's like, I went out with my friends. He even put his friends on the phone. I was like, I don't care. Like that's the thing with me. Like I didn't give a shit. Like my mind wasn't going to him like hanging out with another female or nothing like that. It was the fact that he was flaking and being fake with me when he said that we would be friends and shit like that, when all week he was like flaking on me. I had lost my job, and I just needed like my friend to be there for me because I had graduated and shit like that, and all my friends were like they left, and it was just he and I, you know. He didn't graduate. He hadn't graduated yet, but anyways, so I wait 2 hours and he comes back, and I'm like, what's the deal? We start arguing and shit like that. His friends are like at the gates about like trying to go upstairs. Like they have to wait for him to like go up the stairs and shit like that. And so he's like, okay, like let me let my friends in, and he would not let me in either. And so I was like, what the fuck? Like I tried to like get through that. Long story short, like we ended up like fighting. I wanted to physically fight him. Like I just remember pushing him. I drove off and I drove back. Like I was being crazy. I was being mad crazy. Like anyways, so I had driven back home to my apartment, and he had texted me, and I was crying like the whole way back home. And he texted me and he was like I'm so sorry that, you know, I'm sorry. He apologized. He's like, I didn't know you felt like that. You can come over after we're done going to the bar. I said, dope, okay. Went over to his place. I stayed the night. The next day, Aquarius ended up texting me in the morning, and I was pissed because Aquarius did not text me the night before when I had texted him, and he told me to text me. Because I was like, damn, Aquarius, you're back at it again. And I didn't text him till the evening time because he was like blowing my phone up. So I was just like, okay, like what do you want? Basically, I was like, what's up? And he was just like, you know, regular conversation. And then he was like, when do you want to hang out, or where do you want to hang out? I was like, we can hang out at my place. And I was like, he told me where he was at, and he actually ended up being at the apartment complex a walk away from me. And I was so suspicious about that. I was like, why the fuck are you over there? He was like, I'm using the computers because they have like a cyber area or whatever. So I was like, okay. So he came over that night and he brought over a journal. And I already knew that he wrote poetry and shit like that. Like I had said in part one, like he spit me a poem and shit like that. And I was like, huh? Aquarius? like he had some of my attention, you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, I journal too. It was so funny because like we both journaled, and before, like when I was trying to get closure from him, he had the Eye of Horus pendant or necklace on, and I was like, are you woke? He's like, I've been woke. And that always like stuck with me, because like on my cap I had painted the Eye of Horus for my graduation. So it's just like, wow, like I had always felt some type of connection with Aquarius, like always. And so yeah. So I offered him some tea, and he was like, yeah, I'll take some tea, because that's really all I had, because I didn't have no money for food, because I paid for rent. All I had was like fucking fruits and oatmeal. I think I offered him some oatmeal. He's like, no, I'll take the tea. So yeah, he stayed the night. I think we just cuddled. I don't remember if we had sex or cuddled, but I know we had cuddled or whatever. But I was being very standoffish that whole night, even though he was being like romantic and shit like that, and like I was feeling it, but at the same time I wasn't, because I was so used to my ex and, you know, being lovey-dovey and romantic with my ex. So I was like basically closed off. That part of me was very closed off to him. And I was like, dang, like, why am I feeling like this? And damn, I had texted him the next day just apologizing about my standoffishness. Like I hadn't been with another man in a long time. He was like, I haven't been with another man either. I was like, what does that mean? Like, it was weird. I was like weirded out. But anyways, so after that, right, me and Aquarius had many different funny encounters together. So in the beginning, it was cute. Like I said, it was cute in the beginning. And then shit started getting weird. Like I was really grateful to him for him to like coming back into my life, because I was like, I actually really liked him. I was vibing with him. It was good again, you know what I'm saying? But then like shit started getting weird. There's one day I was laying on my bed, back face to the bathroom door. He came through the bathroom and he was like, you're so skinny, like almost in disgust. And in my mind, like this shit started happening, right? I had heard yelling. I heard yelling in my mind. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, it's like somebody whose supply has depleted and they're screaming in anguish. And I was freaked the fuck out, to be honest, because I was a different person from who I was the year before. Because then I wasn't, you know, woke. I don't like using that term. I wasn't awakened. I wasn't enlightened. That's the word. Was not enlightened. But here I was enlightened, and I was skinny, and I was struggling. I was struggling hard. The year before I was not struggling. I wasn't struggling. I was good. But anyways, yeah. So it's like that energy. It's like he couldn't feed off. It's like his spirit knew that he couldn't feed off of me. And I heard that shit. There was another time when he had came over because he didn't have no apartment. His mom told him, oh, yeah, well, at least he said his mom told him he shouldn't have an apartment, or that he should wait. So he bathed. He came over, took a shower at my apartment, got dressed real nice, and we weren't going out anywhere. You know what I'm saying? And he just went out. And in my mind, I heard, don't wait up. And surely enough, I did not, because his ass did not come back that night. And like, it was crazy. Like, these things just kept happening. These intuitive nudges kept happening even before, right? Like 2016, I don't know if I said this already, but there was a time that we had sex, and that was like the last time I wanted to ever have sex with him again, because this dude, right, he had morphed. And usually, like, we weren't having like sex like missionary. Like, you see the person's face in missionary. Oh my god, now I'm like thinking about it, like tears are like coming to my eyes, because we never really like had sex like that again. But anyways, this dude's eyes, like, it was like a fucking drawing or like a painting of like a demon. His eyes were wide, his tongue was sticking out, and his tongue is long. Naturally, it's long and pointy. That shit was sticking out his fucking mouth. And God, this, when I tell you, this dude, he was like the epitome of the devil. Because like, even when he came back, like his chin hair was like long and pointed down. And this nigga's tongue is long. I have a whole drawing of him. But anyways, there was another time, right, where because the thing is, he was like coming in and out of my apartment and shit like that, but I didn't really care, because I was on my journey. I was focused on my journey. I was focused on making money, because I got a new job at a different school. It wasn't paying me enough still. Like, it just wasn't paying me enough. And I was still struggling with my abundance and shit like that, you know? And my self-confidence, self-worth, and all that shit. Wasn't paying me enough to pay for my rent. That was damn near $700 a month. And then you have Aquarius fucking around, you know, playing with my mind and shit like that. And I wasn't like too focused on him. I was really focused on me and shit like that. But it's like he wanted me to focus on him so bad. Like negative attention type shit. And so, like, you know, time was going by, and like, there was one time he wanted to have sex, right? He wanted to have sex with me. And it was like, he was like really withholding. He was really withholding, because your girl was used to getting it every day, multiple times a day. You feel me? And then with him, it was like dry. It was arid than a bitch. And then this one time, he wanted to have sex. And he was like turn over, because, you know, he's rough like that or whatever. And I liked it. I liked that shit. He's like, turn over. I was like, God, I was pissed. I was like, damn. I was like, I'm on my period. And he was like, dang. And I was like, yeah. And he got a text or whatever, a call. He jumped up. Like his eyes were as wide as mine. And there's something in his face that switched. And he was like, my cousin hydroplaned. And it was raining. As creepy as my face just looked like that, his face was like that, but like maybe 10 times worse, like creepier. He's like, my cousin just hydroplaned. She needs my help. I was like, okay. Like, I had seen something in his face, and I felt really weird about it. I was like, inside of me, I was like, it feels like he's gonna go like try to mess with somebody else, go try to have sex with somebody else. And later on, he came back, and we were just talking about random shit, and he was like, oh, yeah, my cousin's on her period too. Anyways, so it's like so much shit like that, you feel me? So much shit. Like, he had gone to jail the first time, and it was when I was trying to I was working in Dallas. It was like the job was 30 minutes away from my home, and he would drop me off at the club and say that he was gonna go to his brother's house with him and his girl. And when there's this one time, right, he was taking me to work. I didn't even get past, like, I don't even think we got halfway. Maybe we did. I think we might have. Nope, almost halfway to my job. And he was speeding and the cops stopped him. He was driving my car, right? And so they ran his shit and they were like, you have a warrant out for your arrest. They handcuffed him. I'd never seen anybody handcuffed in my life before. And I felt inside of me, I was like, he did some shit. He did some shit. I was like, this is some karma. But at the same time, I was like, damn, this is weird. Like, maybe I should cry. I don't know why. It's like my whole being, my whole like emotional body was like it was kind of off. I was, I was still eating meat, still eating cheese. But my emotional self was not highly developed yet. So I was like, dang, like, this is kind of weird. So I just like started crying. And then he was like, it's okay, like I have warrants and shit like that. I was like, okay. So I go home, I drive home, and I call his mom. He gave me the number to call his mom before I left. And I just, like, I was talking to his mom. I was like, they took him away. And I just started crying. And she's like, it's okay, like, and so, yeah. He and I talked on the phone while he was in jail for, like, a little bit. Because I didn't have enough money to pay for calls and still save for rent. I was going through it, like, I was really going through it. It was a bad time for me. It was bad, like, I was at my lowest, like, one of my lowest points. And, like, we bailed him out, me, his mom, and his brother, and his brother's girl, we bailed him out. And, once he came back, like, once he came out, it was weird because we came up to my apartment and he was like, I need to take your car and go tell my uncle that I'm out. He's like, he's gonna be so mad at me. That those apartments that he was at where he was going to the cyber place. At the time, the place was called the Republics. I'm just gonna say the Republics because it's not called the Republics anymore. The Republics is the apartments. So yeah, he had taken my car and driven to the Republics and came back and was just crying. He's like, I'm not a good person, but I'm trying, all this shit. And yeah, my heart, like, every time I tell the story, it's like, fuck, like, but yeah, so, I found another job because I got fired from that hoe. And again, I'm just not supposed to be there. Just not supposed to, like, work in a school setting. But anyway, well, at least the European school setting, just whatever. So I found another job, like I said. No, I had already quit that job and I started working somewhere else. Anyways, so come spring break, right? Like, we're going through this shit back and forth still. We're still in a situationship, right? And he's like playing games. I had told him that I was ready to, like, because he had wanted to be in a relationship with me, and I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I'm fucked up. I was like, I don't want to put that shit on you. I was very adamant about that because I cared too much about him. Because I knew that I was still fucked up. And I don't want to put that on him because I fucked with him. And I had told him I was ready. I had written him a 4-page letter. Like, that song by Aaliyah? I'm writing you a 4-page letter. And I enclosed it with a kiss. And I closed that hoe with a kiss. And I gave it to him. And I was just like, oh my gosh. Because, like, I put my heart into that. I was playing some 528 hertz heart chakra music. I was like, let me really tell this man how I'm feeling. You feel me? And I had even texted him too about how I felt. He's like, oh, da da da, like, I'm not ready. Okay, this nigga was messing around with another female. He was like, he would even like write poems about other females, and I didn't know until like that first time he went to jail, and I had gone through his phone. That night, that first time he went to jail, he was supposed to be taking somebody to the movies. They were like, what's up with your car? What'd you say was wrong with your car? Are we still going to the movies? Nigga, what? You're taking me to work and you're hanging out with another female? Disrespectful than a bitch. So he went to spring break, right? He went to jail again. And in my mind, I was like, cause before he left, I felt something like wrong. I wanted to tell him not to go. Cause the first time he went to jail, I didn't want to go to work. I was like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Like, I feel weird. I was like, I feel weird. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And he knew, like, after that, you know, because I was a baby witch, and he saw me do my baby witch craft and, you know, crafting my jewelry, my healing pendants. That's when I first started my healing pendants. And he saw me being a baby witch and everything. So he knew I was onto some shit. He knew, you know, I had some powers or whatever. But it's like he still felt like he could pull the wool over my eyes. And honestly, I allowed it. I allowed that to happen because I really wasn't like in tune with my intuition like that. But I was seeing shit. I wasn't denying the things that I was seeing, but I was also denying the things that I was seeing. You feel me? So yeah, spring break, it was a last minute trip he was finna take with his friends, and I just didn't feel right about it at all. My period was finna come and I did not know. It actually came that day, and he left with his friends. He's like, should I go? Should I go? I was like, do whatever you want to do, because to be honest, I had taken a trip without him in February, and I went with my guy friends. I have guy friends, and they are amazing. I love you guys. Y'all my niggas, ride or die for life. And we went to Louisiana, and it was a dope ass time. Like, those are my niggas. Like, I need to hang out with them. Like, we gotta get together. Anyways, so and he wanted to go, but I was like, because he said that his friend was gonna go to California because his girlfriend was like, she had launched something in like, sorry, there's like incense smoke coming here. And so they were like gonna go to Cali because she had launched something or whatever, and like she had been picked up or something like that. And I was like, I wanna go, and he was like, yeah. So that's why when I was finna go to Louisiana, I was like, no, was that after? No, that was after, because I didn't like his vibe. He wasn't being real. I was like, why should I go with you? Why should I take you with me with my friends? And you're not even like taking me serious. But anyway, so I told him to do whatever he wanted to do, and he did. He left, and I was supposed to go home. Well, I wasn't supposed to, but I wanted to, but I didn't end up going back to my parents' house because I felt weird. And then my period actually came, so I just didn't go. And I just felt all these emotions inside of me. I was like, something bad is gonna happen. Like, I felt something. I felt like my premonition, like it was a premonition, and I felt it, and I felt weird. And then like he didn't text me that day or most of the next day. And then his mother ended up calling me, and she was like, Aquarius is in jail. And I was like, what the fuck? So, or did she text me? I was like, what the fuck? And then he ended up calling me later, and I just broke the fuck down because I was like, he was fucking around. I just felt like he was fucking around. I was like, damn, like, he's doing fucked up shit again. He's in jail again. You feel me? And I was like, what the fuck? And he wanted to cry too, because he felt so bad. He's like, I don't know why, like every time I talk to you and my mom, I want to cry. And so yeah, he was in jail for 3 months, and in those 3 months I completed my book, the one that I put out, my love book, Lessons One Vehemently Experienced. So I put that whole out. It was a big inspiration to me, and we were talking every day. You know, I had a little bit more money, so I was able to talk to him, and like we were talking on the phone all the time, like having good ass conversations. You know, like he was telling me what was going on in jail. I was telling him what was going on outside. You know, we would meditate at a certain set time. Sometimes we would focus on one chakra, and then we were like basically we each got to choose a chakra and stuff like that. So the last chakra was the crown chakra that we meditated on. And oh yeah, and at that time too, while he was in jail, I ended up actually going vegan. And he was like partially vegan in jail. Like he wasn't really eating meat like that. He was mostly eating like other things, maybe cheese and stuff like that. But vegetarian. I say he went vegetarian for the most part. But I went straight vegan, like no meat, no cheese. And then he came out of jail, and the thing is, like, we had meditated on the crown chakra. Next day, I hear "Oi" out my window, because that's what he does to like alert me that he's back. Cars or trucks. To alert me that he's back, or he'll like throw a rock at my window to like let me know so I can like go and unlock the door. And he had woke me up my sleep, and I was like, this is a fucking dream. Like, he's out of jail. Like, neither one of us were expecting that. And so I was like, whoa, like, who dropped you off? He was like, one of his jailmates like got released the same day too, and whoever picked him up or whatever dropped him off. He's like, I need to go to my brother's house. I need to see my mom. I need to get my hair cut. So that happened. I took him to his brother's house, and when we were driving there, at first it felt good because, you know, I was playing some upbeat music, and then at the time J. Cole came up with his new album. I think it was like KOD, or like that's the song, but it was like on that album was Red or whatever, Kids on Drugs. And there was a song that came on and was talking about, we both didn't listen to the album until like we were reunited. And so damn, what the fuck. Sorry, I'm just thinking about my book, and it's just so funny. Like, I don't know, intuitive writing. But anyways, so yeah, I felt the energy change. The song that was playing was talking about how J. Cole kept hurting this woman, and he couldn't help but hurt this woman. He didn't know why he kept hurting her, but he just kept doing it. And I just felt the energy change in the car, and I was like, damn. And then later on that day, he was like, me and my friend, well, he really calls him his brother, me and my brother, but they're actually friends, are we gonna go out tonight. So he wanted to use my car, so he dropped me off and went back, and he did not come back until like 7 in the morning. And I had texted him too. I was like, are you gonna come back tonight? And he did not text me back. And so yeah, it hurt. It really did bother me, because I was like, how did we get so close while you were in jail, and then you come back and you're back to your old shit? You feel me? And like, that shit fucking, look, it fucking shattered me. I was like, fuck. And I was he had came back 7 a.m. and he had left his phone in the bathroom, and I just saw random numbers, because his old phone was lost. His friends lost his old phone. He had a newer phone. He had a new phone, and there was just random numbers. It's just people like texting him, and I was like, oh, he's up to his old shit again, like females on his shit. And then I saw one number and I knew his mom, and it had said, "Okay, grown man, like it's not funny or it's not cool to play with people's emotions or whatever." And I was like, damn. I was like, I can't. I was like really hurting. I was like, what the fuck? I just felt all these energies around me. It was just chaos. I just felt the energy of chaos all around me. And I just decided to meditate. I sat down and I meditated. I came out the bathroom, sat down and I meditated. I had to ground myself. I had to calm myself because I just could not. I could not. So I went. I was so ready too. I had cooked for him. I was like, I was wearing lingerie. I was like, ooh, nope, nope. So I got up, went to make some tea, and I was like, so are you leaving? He was like, and I just broke down. He was like, why are you doing that? And I couldn't say shit. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't say shit because I was hurt. I was like, why? In my mind, like, God, I was so pissed. I was like, we were finally getting somewhere, and like he just wants to fuck it up. And him and his friend, they went to Hooters of all places in the world to go after you get out of fucking jail. Like Hooters, my dude. And anyway, so he left with his friend. I thought it was his ex, but it was one of his gay female friends, and I was crushed because I thought it was his ex. It hurt me worse because I thought it was his ex. And so yeah, his mom was telling me like, oh, like I don't condone what he's doing, blah blah blah. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Months later, or a month later, or whatever, or maybe a few weeks later, he had asked me to like take him to court or whatever, and I had mad love for him still. I was like, okay. So I took him to court. I was taking him to court and shit like that because he needed a ride to court. He was still manipulating me. Like mind you, this whole time he was with me, he was not paying no type of rent. He was like barely buying food. I was really the one fitting the bill for like everything, and I felt like I had to because I didn't ask him for anything. Like I didn't ask him to or anything like that. But it was like he was with me for months on end. You know, like almost a whole year. But I didn't care because I gave a fuck about him. I was like, I can do this. Like, I need to be independent because I felt like with Libra, I lost my independence. So I was like, I got this shit. I'm strong. Which, I don't know. But anyways, so I was really trying hard to find another job because I was struggling to fucking get in. No money because I spent it mostly on talking to him on the phone when he was in jail. And so I had to figure my shit out. So I was, me and my roommate's girlfriend wanted to go to this poetry thing because it was their last like event or whatever, and I wanted to finally spit something. And the poem, I might get to the name of it later, but before I wanted to be one of the last ones or like one of the middle ones, but before I could go up there, I saw Aquarius and I seized up my whole being. I was scared. I was afraid. I was scared to like even go and spit my poem, which ironically the name was called Fear. So he goes up, right, and he spits this first poem, and it was like talking about like police brutality. The second one, he just came out the blue with that hoe. He was like, yeah, this one, I just feel like spitting. And when I tell you, it felt like we were the only two people in this whole fucking room. And he was talking about how, you know, he knows that him and somebody, well, he and I were supposed to like, I don't even want to say he and I. I'm just gonna say he and somebody were meant to be together, but he's not made for that, like monogamy type shit. Basically, he's not made for that shit. He's not set up like that. He's not ready, or whatever. And I just felt myself sink, bro. I was sinking into that fucking seat. I just wanted to die. where I was at. I was like, I can't. Like, why is this happening? Why is he saying this in front of everybody? And then, like, it was like when he, like, I was out. I just wanted to leave the room, but I couldn't go anywhere because my roommate's girl was my ride. And I don't know why I stayed in that room, my dude. I should have left or gone somewhere, but I felt like if I left, I would have broke down. I would have, like, cried my fucking eyes out. But as he was leaving, he, like, gave me, like, a slight hug. He's like, you good? I was like, yeah. And so when me and my roommate's girl were leaving to go to her car to, like, go back home, I had seen him walking. He was like, you know, just, I don't know, walking. And we just looked at each other and we just laughed. She didn't even see him, which is the weirdest shit. And I was laughing. And it's like she didn't hear me or see him. It was like, I really feel like this person is not real. Like, this person is a whole ghost type shit. But anyways. So that night, I had a whole anxiety attack. God, I was sweating. My heart was racing. I woke up in, like, my own sweat. Never happened before. I've never had an anxiety attack before. It was hard. It was so hard. So while he was gone, I was trying to build myself up and shit like that. And yeah, but he came back, and then it was almost time for me to move out my apartment, and you know, we were having some good ass energy together before, but then it was like one of my roommates, she was like, yeah, he wanted to be with this girl. He was like, yeah, I don't want to be with me. He didn't want to be with me. She told him he didn't want to be with me. He wanted to be with this other girl. And I was like, who is she? She showed me her Twitter. She's a dancer. I felt like she was bisexual because Aquarius really wanted me to be gay. He really wanted me to be gay. Because he would say, like, drop hints about, like, threesomes and shit like that. And he just didn't really like who I was. He didn't, like, I don't shave all the time. Like, I don't have, okay? I don't shave all the time. I'm a natural woman, okay? I'm real. And, like, he didn't like that. Like, he would never, like, give me oral, but I would give him oral. Like, we wouldn't have sex like that. It was the most depleting ass time of my fucking life. And so I was like, whatever. Like, if he really wanted her, he would not be here with me. Not realizing, it's my fucking fault. Like, I was enabling the bullshit. I was enabling his ass. Because I really thought he was going to change. I was really hoping and praying. I was like, you know, I was rooting for his ass. I was really rooting for him. So I ended up getting a new job. And I was supposed to move in with these two girls. And I really felt like, I thought he was going to move with me and shit like that. And he wouldn't go with us to go apartment hunting, and I really thought that was really weird. So I had started this new job, right? And one of my co-workers, she was like, yeah, like, you can stay at my place until you move into your new place. I was like, thank you so much. So me and Aquarius move into this girl and her boyfriend's apartment, and shit started going downhill quick. I was having bad anxiety attacks. Like, I was crying, like, before work almost every day, and it got to be a point to where I couldn't do it anymore. And these girls, like, they would text him and he would not text back about, like, going to see apartments, and then they would, like, put it on me. And I mean, I understood, but it's like, damn, I really thought that he was gonna, like, you know, do something. She was telling me that he wasn't texting back. So I was like, okay, this is weird. So I had to have a conversation with him, and I was like, well, what do you want to do? What's going on? He's like, you know, if we move in together, cool. If we don't, cool. I was like, that's not what I want to hear at all. I was done. I broke the fuck down. He left for days, and then he hit me up a few days later talking about his case and how he needed to borrow my car so he can go resolve this case because it was, like, money involved with him not paying or something like that. And he was like, if I don't pay, I'm gonna go back to jail. And I was like, I don't want him to go back to jail, but I also am tired of enabling his ass, because he had racked up like damn near $100 worth of charges when he was using my car, like through the tolls. And I had to pay that hoe. And I was telling him, pay it before, because it accumulates every day. And he wasn't doing that shit. And I didn't even know that it was almost $100 until I had called him. And I was like, fuck it, I'm paying it off. He can't use my car no more, because he just fucks up my shit. He fucks up my car. He had blown a tire out before, like shit. He made messes in my car, like it was, oh god. Anyways, so I was done, and I was crying because I didn't want him to go to jail, but I was like praying for him. I was like, no, he's gonna figure it out. He's gonna figure it out. And he did figure it out, and he was pissed off at me. He was so mad at me. And I mean, I understood, and I didn't want to hold no grudges, but he really held a whole ass grudge. And I was like, fuck it. And he, like, a few months later, this is like my next birthday, because my last birthday, right, he told me happy birthday, but he wasn't there. I was like, how does he know it was my birthday? And I felt like he was like with somebody else, right? And so that girl that he wanted to be with, he actually ended up being with her. And the funny thing is I found that out on my birthday, on the day of my 24th birthday. I'm still 24, so this was almost a year ago, right? My old roommate, she had DM'd me on Twitter saying, huh? And it was like a boomerang picture of him like kissing the girl and like looking in the camera, like, and it looked so forced, and it said, looks like love to me. And mind you, before that happened, I had a dream that that shit was gonna happen, but it was like of some girl that he had wrote a poem about that I had actually met, who was actually in my house. But anyway, so yeah, that happened, and I was like, I can't. I'm done. I was like, you know what, fuck it. Like, I'm not gonna let this bother me, fuck up my birthday, because I was already starting to talk to somebody else. So I was like, fuck you. I'm done officially. I'm free. Thank you, God. But the months following that, is still hurt. You know what I'm saying? It hurt how everything went down, and he was still trying to see. I felt like, I don't know. He was still trying to like talk to me, but not really. And I just didn't ever want to speak to him again. We never spoke until like Christmas or whatever, before Christmas. But anyways, yeah, so that's how I started my spiritual journey. It was prompted really by his energy, the Aquarian energy, or whatever his energy was. I don't know, his demonic energy. I don't know. But I don't know. I pray that he's good now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't wish bad on him at all. But because like he helped me get to where I am today. He was really a catalyst for my growth. And I mean, I hope I was a catalyst for his growth too. There's no hard feelings, because I'm in a great relationship right now. I'm very, very happy, and you know, life goes on. Yeah, I'm grateful for the journey. So yeah, guys, this was a long story, but I hope this helps somebody to realize their worth, and to, you know, listen to your intuition, because your intuition is real. Your intuition never fails you, right? So yeah, I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you later.